Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and a few days ago on August 1st, I published a massive August 1st LEGO haul, and finally it has only taken me a bit over a week to build every single set from that massive haul, which we have laid out right here. So this is about a week and a few extra days worth of LEGO building. Here we can see pretty much every single August release that was not sent to me early. LEGO did actually send me the LEGO Dream sets, the Spider-Man art set, which is actually directly behind me right here, as well as a couple of the Batman Batmobile sets, which I've already put up on the wall right here early. But besides those ones, I pretty much just went over to the LEGO store and got everything that LEGO didn't send me, which you can mostly see right here. Intermixed and kind of interspersed between these are some vintage LEGO sets as well. I actually have had these sitting in a closet since around this time last year when I went to Germany for some LEGO shopping. I just haven't gotten a chance to build them, but finally, after finishing my August 1st haul, I had some extra time, so I was like, you know what, why not actually put some of those together as well? Although most of these are brand new sets. So we're going to go through these as quickly as possible and showcase all of the different sets from across the different themes. There's a lot of LEGO City, Creator, Sonic, Star Wars, Technic, Architecture, Disney, some Marvel stuff, and a ton of extras. So let's get into it right now. So first off, over here we have one of the large new city boats. This set is really notable because it introduced the Orca whale to LEGO City, which is a really nice mold. I'm actually going to put out a video on all of the new animal molds, so I have that sitting up in my review studio, but we can let that one sail away from here. We have a Technic Lamborghini, which is a lime green one, the same exact color scheme as the large scale one they did a few years ago, so that was pretty cool to get a mini scale Lamborghini. And we also have several LEGO 2K Drive tie-in sets. Now, what's really cool about these 2K Drive racers is that they specifically are built to be fully modular, which means that each different parts of them can be intermixed between each other, and the fronts, the backs, and even the side weapons can all combine, so you can really mix and match your vehicles, which I think is a really cool concept. They're all using the standard clip system, so essentially every single LEGO 2K Drive set provides you with a series of different modules which you can take apart to really be able to just utilize your own different styles of pieces. So for example, if I wanted this boat to have wings on the side, I can go ahead and take the wings from this other set, put them on top of here. Maybe I want this front boat part to be on this car, but the front of that car to be on the boat here. So again, you can really just go crazy with all sorts of different types of vehicles from here. Some combinations will obviously look better than others, but I think that's a really cool concept that so many of these sets actually are built to work with each other, which I think is a great design feature. And one thing that you'll see as a recurring theme while showcasing different sets throughout this video is that many of these sets are actually built to be fully modular, which I think is very, very cool. Moving on from the 2K Drive sets, we can take a look at some other stuff. We have a bit of a small Technic poly bag, so that's kind of a forklift poly bag that I put together. This is an underwater Vikings display from the boat here. Here we have one of the Sonic opponents, so we've got a number of different items right here, as well as the mini-scale Y-Wing from the Yavin 4 base, which is quite a cool looking design. Moving onwards, I built a vintage train, which is one of the sets that came out, I believe, in the 1990s, as well as the train station that went alongside it, which was a really interesting supply depot station, which you can see right here on one of those classic vintage road plates. LEGO did send me the 4+ Batmobile as well, which I'll probably be doing a showcase of every single Batmobile LEGO has ever made, given that we have all of them mounted right here, but I'm going to set that over with the Batmobiles for now. Microfighter N1 Starfighter. This is the small build to the NASA LEGO Technic Mars rover, which I'm just going to go ahead and bring over here, which is a really cool set. One of the coolest LEGO Technic sets we've gotten in a while. This set actually sold out on day one when it was available, which makes total sense because it is a really solid set. You can have the wheels be steerable. You can also change the position of the wheels to be in brake mode if you wanted to. So all sorts of stuff. Twisting levers on the back here allows you to extend out the arm, so you can really just go crazy with all sorts of different stuff. And it has been a while since we got a rover like this, especially from LEGO Technic. I don't even think we've ever gotten something quite like this before, so really solid set. One of my favorite LEGO Technic sets in recent history, and it comes with new molds for the wheels as well. Setting that aside, we have a couple of vintage boats. We've got a police boat as well as a speeder. These are actually boats that float on water. A Quidditch polybag from Harry Potter. This is part of one of the LEGO Arctic sets showcasing the polar bears. Some rings for Sonic. One of the little Tails' garage builds for the Sonic biplane, which you can see right here being piloted by Tails himself, which you can See the minifigure up there. A couple more train cars for that vintage train, which I'm going to set aside with the train. And then we can move on to some of the different Sonic sets. This was actually one of the larger scale Sonic sets, which focused on a large loop utilizing the Lego City stunts pieces. This allows you to essentially launch Sonic up a loop. Let me see if we actually can grab one of these speed spheres here. The idea is that you put Sonic in one of the spheres and then you hit it and he does a loop. Maybe this doesn't work super well on carpet, or maybe I just have to hit it with more force, but the general idea is that you're supposed to, there we go, really make that go crazy and launch outwards for Sonic to travel through the course. Moving on from that, we have yet another vintage boat. This is probably one of the oldest boats that Lego's created. As you can see, the minifigures are actually the older design, which are really interesting. These were the precursors to minifigures, so a couple of them came in this boat, which I think are really cool, and it's cool to see the evolution of how Lego has changed over the years. Gonna set aside some of the smaller stuff here. A lot of these are just parts of the course builder for Sonic, but that course also came with a mini mech for Eggman, which you can see right here piloting his mech. Moving onwards from that, we have a couple of the new Star Wars mechs, and these are really interesting. Lego has basically used the Marvel mech formula and given us some Star Wars themed mechs, which you can see the Stormtrooper one right here came with a new Stormtrooper minifigure, so that one is currently being displayed on my wall, which is why he's not in the mech itself. We got a Darth Vader one, which is probably the weakest one because it just doesn't have a cape, which feels like it's missing something. But one of the coolest ones here is the Boba Fett mech. I think this is the best one that they did. Comes with the rocket pack, a blaster for Boba Fett, which honestly feels more like Han Solo's blaster, but I think it fits the character just fine. And this is a really, really cool one. For 15 bucks, you get a really fantastic Boba minifigure as well. Moving on from that, we have a couple of the Super Mario sets. Lego did send me these technically early, but they really arrived around August 1st, so I built them around the same time, and you can see my review on all of the brand new Super Mario sets up on the channel right now. Moving onwards, I acquired a Dino Attack set at a Bricks and Minifigs in Oregon last March that I just never built until now, so I've got one right here. Let's see, what else do we have? A vintage Lego Technic Arctic themed helicopter. So funny how history is repeating itself. This year we're getting a Lego City Arctic sub-theme, and this is a Lego Technic Arctic helicopter, complete with these spinning propellers, which are really, really cool. Moving onwards from that, we have one of my favorite sets that came out for this particular launch, which I actually built live on stream, which is the Lego Creator roller coaster here. A surprisingly sturdy set for actually just being a roller coaster, but this is so much fun. You can have the minifigures go up the roller coaster and watch as they go down, which is really satisfying. As you notice, as they kind of go around this loop, one of the meteors actually opens up and flies next to them. So as you can see, they cause that meteor to move, and this is just a really fun design, and I hope that Lego will do more roller coasters. We've gotten a Pirates one from Creator, we've gotten a Space one, I think a Castle one is next, and getting one that actually is made to be really built out, maybe like a Legoland Castle roller coaster would be really, really cool. I know we got one for the Legoland exclusive set, but it would be cool to get a bigger roller coaster than that one. Setting this build aside, we can actually move a little bit closer here. We have a Lego City modular skate park. Now, every single one of the Lego City buildings for this particular wave are fully modular, which means that you can separate them out into different components and even attach them to some of the other city buildings, which I think is a fantastic concept. Still think the Lego Friends modular skate park is a little bit better than one that came out this year, but that one is a pretty strong contender. Moving onwards, we have some more MK sets for Mario, or Donkey Kong, not MK, that's Monkey Kid. Donkey Kong is the other monkey that Lego is doing right now, which I did take a look at previously in my mega review of all the Mario sets, so we don't need to necessarily go through all of these super in-depth, because we already did see all of these in the mega review, which if you do want to check out, I have linked in the description below. Even more stuff, this is from the Lego Sonic sets, featuring some brand new printed elements for the Sonic theme for spinning Sonic records, which I think are pretty cool to see. And then we can move onwards and go even closer and move into Lego Star Wars. So there's a number of unique Star Wars sets that released, one of which is Yoda's Jedi Starfighter here. Very interesting that they are doing this incredibly obscure vehicle from the Clone Wars. Really was from like the Yoda's mission, like the Lost Missions arc that was a Netflix exclusive, I believe, but really interesting how this is the second copy of the ship they've made, but it is a little bit overpriced in my opinion, but it is still a good vehicle. Moving onwards, let's see, what else do we have here? platform for the Seals Battle Pack for LEGO City, which I will be showcasing the Seals in a separate video, which is why they're not on their stand right now, but it's a nice Arctic terrain. We've got some more LEGO Super Mario stuff. Let me see, more Super Mario. A little bit of a 4+ Iron Man versus Thanos build, which is another LEGO Hulkbuster, but a 4+ version that's kind of similar to the 4+ Ninjago mechs. Moving on closer here, if we can actually get closer into the build itself, you can see that this is a LEGO City, kind of an Arctic transporter build. It came with a brand new polar bear baby mold, which is really special, but it's just kind of a remote type of vehicle, very similar to one that we actually have gotten in the past for LEGO City Arctic. Another vintage LEGO set. This is a bit of a crane build, which I think is a really cool vintage style of build. Mario's house, which is probably one of the worst valued sets of the year, but thankfully LEGO did send me this one for review, so I did not have to buy it. Some more Super Mario sets. We've got a Land Rover, which is pretty nice. I believe this was part of the July releases, actually. It may have even been June, but I only just now got around to building it, so that's a mini Land Rover from LEGO Creator, which I think is pretty cool that they did that. Some more Sonic stuff, Sonic vehicles. Let's see, those are more Mario stuff. All right, so we can move in closer to here. And let's see, what else do we have? Well, this is one of the large-scale John Deere LEGO Technic tractors, which is really cool because it's operated by pneumatics. So if you can see back here, you can operate the pump, and then there are a couple of switches which you can use to control the opening and closing of the arm, which is very, very cool. Let me see if we can actually get this to close shut. There we go. Okay, look at that. We can actually control the movement of the arm itself. There's a lot of different things that can be done with it, which I think is a really fun set because we don't get a lot of different pneumatic style of builds from LEGO Technic these days. But this one has really gone all out and allowed you to control everything by air pump, which is very, very cool. Setting aside the John Deere tractor, we also have a brand new motorized LEGO Technic Audi race car. This is honestly not the most impressive build in terms of the aesthetics, but what does make up for that by actually being fully remote controlled by your iPhone, which is a really cool idea for a LEGO set. Stuff that they've done before, but it is a really fun vehicle to drive around, and I might even be doing a review of all the Technic stuff. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a review of something like this. Moving onwards from that, let's just make sure it doesn't cause an accident there. Some more Super Mario stuff with the planes, which we can see right here. And now we can move on even closer into this area. So let's go ahead and take a look at what else we have here. This is the car from the 1950s diner for the LEGO Bricklink AFOL Designer program. I will be putting out a review of this along with the diner, which can be seen all the way back there very shortly, so that should be coming pretty soon. A tiny little LEGO Homemaker set, which includes some family minifigures before they even made minifigures. These were kind of these styles of characters that they were doing, which were very, very interesting to see. And now let's come on closer here with the camera so we can take a look at some of the items on the back here. If we're able to come a little bit closer here, we can take a look at the LEGO Architecture set. This is the only LEGO Architecture set for August, which they released, the Himeji Castle, which is a beautiful set. Honestly, one of my favorite sets they've actually put out for the LEGO Architecture line, and absolutely a return to form after not a lot of great architecture releases in recent history. This is so good, and I can't wait to see LEGO do more stuff like this. Moving onwards, we have some more LEGO City Arctic sets. This is the boat that came with a brand new adult sea turtle mold, which is really great. And this one is the snowmobile that came alongside the little tiny, I believe they were the seals that came in this set. So both sets that came with great new animals, and the builds are just okay, although I do actually really like the color scheme for this year's Arctic stuff. Moving onwards, we have the Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack here. I have a lot more of these, but I'm saving them for some sort of a party group build, which should be really fun. Let's see, what else do we have? Actually, this is an old one. This is a vintage classic spaceship, which I bought from Bricklink several months ago. I must have bought it, I believe, March or April of last year. Only just now got a chance to build it. Super excited to actually turn this one on. It takes 9-volt batteries, but one of the most vintage classic space sets. It has a siren that makes noise, lights that light up, and let me know if you want to see me do reviews of classic space stuff like this. Mostly if I get a vintage set, I usually just hang it up on my collection and I don't really do a review of it, but do let me know in the comments if you want to see me do more stuff taking a look at things like these. Moving onwards from there, let's see, what else do we have? Some more LEGO Sonic builds here and there, so we just have different ramps and obstacles to knock over. vintage Lego Technic set I put together, plus a vintage Lego Technic truck. Moving onwards to here, we have some underwater designs from the Lego City Arctic sets. We've got some underwater items right here. The spider tank from the Mandalorian Season 3, which is a very interesting and strange topic for a Lego set. Unfortunately, didn't come with a pilot because presumably Lego didn't really know what the pilot would look like, but I think this is actually a really cool build, and it's probably a build that we will literally never see again as a Lego set. I would be very surprised, so I guess it's a really good build to get while you can. Moving onwards from this stuff over here, we have the front gate to the Sanderson sisters mansion, which you can see is one of the latest Lego idea sets. That's the front gate. And then we have the house itself right behind here. We've got a modular Lego City ice cream shop, which is just another cute little ice cream shop. I do like the color scheme of the actual ice cream dripping downwards, which is so much fun. Over here, we have one of my favorite sets of even the entire year, which is the Tranquil Garden from Lego Icons. Absolutely a beautiful set. The trees are fully removable, so you can kind of move around all sorts of different modules in the set to really make it your own and customize the look and feel. I love how this is mounted at an angle. The rock work is great. We have even a river going through where you can see different depths of the river utilizing a technique they first used in the Ninjago City sets, where you can actually see the different levels of the river, how deep it is in certain areas, which I think is just so cool. And overall, just a beautiful set, one of my favorites, and would highly recommend if you do want to pick it up. It almost feels like it belongs in the botanical sub-theme because it does have this nice black stand and also just lots of different trees. Moving on from this though, we've got a Lego City Sports and Ski Winter Lodge, which is not really something they have done a ton of times in the past. They've done it a couple times, but it's pretty rare for them to do it for something like this. I think it's a really cool idea for a set, and again, much like all of the other Lego City stuff, it is fully modular, which is a fantastic way to be able to take apart different pieces of it and be able to mix and match them in different ways, which is really great because then you could say, for example, take a module from this set and combine it with the City Downtown set, which you can see right there, and all of the modules are really intended to work together, which is a great thing about this wave of Lego City. I'm gonna go ahead and try to reattach this module here. I guess the downside is that they are a little bit more fragile than usual. Oh, it looks like that actually got damaged a little bit, maybe while I was walking around here. This Technic piece just needs to be reattached. Down here, there you go. Okay, so that is all set and ready to go. Setting this aside, we have a number of other sets. This is one of my favorite Lego City sets of this latest release. It is the underwater submarine for the Arctic lineup, but as someone who played a lot of Subnautica when it first came out, this really does feel like almost like a Lego Subnautica set. You have so many different nice details with the submarine. It's probably one of the best submarines they've done out of Lego pieces. You even have this deployable mini submersible, which you can remove from the hangar bay, which is so much fun to play with. And honestly, one of my favorite Lego City sets ever is this, because this is just such a solid and unique color scheme for a submarine. We've gotten a lot of yellow ones in the past, but this is something really special, and it's very sizable as well. Moving onwards, we have another one of those small-scale homemaker vintage sets, which I just put together. We have the Venomized Groot, which I did build live on Twitch. If you're curious about that, I do have the build, I believe, posted on Twitch, linked in the description below. Really fun build. Also came with an extra bag of pieces if you wanted to make it a full Venom Groot instead of the half and half, which I'm going to keep it half and half because I feel like that adds more character to the build. But if you do wanted a full Venom style of Groot, you do have that option, which is really cool. Setting this aside here, we can take a look at some of the other sets. DK's house, which of course is probably one of the best-selling Mario sets that we're going to get because everybody loves Donkey Kong, and this is the only set to get him currently. Moving onwards from here, this is a set that I actually just recently reviewed. It is the Lego Creator Main Street, and I showcased this alongside the Lego Friends Downtown Flower and Design stores, as well as the Lego City set, simply titled Downtown. This was, in my opinion, the weakest of the three, but still a really solid modular set. Moving this aside, let me just go ahead and see if we can actually move this without breaking too many things off of it. I think that sign was somewhere here. We have that Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters cottage here, which is great build. I think this is one of the most detailed interiors of a build that we've gotten for an idea set in a long time. It's actually really cool because you can actually open up the roof sections, and you can see there's a lot of interior detail in there. Really solid set. I honestly really love the build of this one, and honestly from the exterior I wasn't super impressed. It felt fairly standard to me, but after I opened up the interior I was really shocked at just how good this set was. Moving onwards, we have Amy's Animal Island Rescue, which is just another Lego Sonic set. Honestly, the build is a little bit juniorized, but I do like it for what it is. It definitely feels like a classic style of Lego set, almost like something we would have seen out of Lego Elves in 2015, so I do like it for what it is. Moving on from there, we have a really great build for the, I believe this came with the boat or the submarine actually, and it comes with a couple of light gray sharks, which are newly colored in this color, as well as one of the large-scale Lego sharks on a slider, which is just so much fun. That allows you to actually eat an entire minifigure, which is great. I love these jellyfish builds as well, are really, really solid. I mean, these are such unique and vibrant jellyfish builds that almost feel like they belong in the Lego Bionicle Mari Nui system sets. Moving on from that, we have the Yavin 4 base. This is the only time that we've actually gotten a full-on non-4 plus minifigure scale Yavin 4 temple, which is really surprising that it's the first time that we've actually gotten something like this. This is honestly a pretty controversial set. Some people love it, some people really hate it, and I can definitely see why. I feel like this could have been a much bigger set. It does feel a little bit juniorized in the way that it's fully built, but I honestly like it for what it is. Although I do feel like this could be worthy of like an 18 plus style gigantic build from Lego Star Wars, and I feel like adult collectors would really like that. So personally, I'm not sure why they haven't done something like this before. Moving onwards from that, we are blasting through these. Let's see, what else do we have? That should not be there. But we have the camera build for the Walt Disney Camera Tribute, which was sent to me early by Lego, which I just recently reviewed and actually built fairly recently, so that was kind of along this whole batch. We have the Lego City Downtown set, which is probably the best city set ever. I mean, I know that's really high praise, but I really do believe it. I do think that this is the best Lego City set that they have ever done. I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. So many different things you can do with it. And again, just put out my review of comparing this with the Creator Main Street, as well as the Lego Friends Downtown Flower and Design stores. So if you want to see all three of those sets showcased in one review, you can go check that out. Here's the Bricklink AFOL Designer Program 1950s Diner, which is a pretty solid build. Also have a review of this coming out sometime soon. I already recorded it, but it's probably scheduled to come out in like a month or two. Moving onwards from that, we have a couple of extra little bits and pieces from the Divers sets. We have a modular family home from Lego City, which is a nice, charming family home. Almost feels like it's from the Creator 3-in-1 sets, but great to get a set like this. Wolverine's Claws, which is an 18 plus display piece. Not sure who asked for these, but honestly, it's a pretty good build. Like, I kind of like this build, and thankfully you can actually buy a second copy if you wanted to and use it for the other hand as well, because it doesn't use any specific slopes that are exclusive to just the right hand. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like, it's a little smaller than actual human hand scale. Like, this is, I guess that sort of works. I mean, the fingers, I mean, you could probably use this as kind of an actual human hand type of scale thing. So I think that's a really cool thing that Lego continues to do these large scale bust style of builds. Moving onwards from that, I recently picked up the only AT-AT I was missing, which is the one from 2010, which is the AT-AT Walker right here. The 2010 version, which for whatever reason was literally the only one I didn't own yet. So I just got this off of Bricklink recently and had that fully built up. Over here we have the Disney Villain Icon set, which is also another amazing build here. One of the best 18 plus sets of the year. Incredible design. You've got little different hiding spots for the minifigs as well. A VHS tape, different books, a nice little watch. I mean, this is just such a cool set. One of the nicest looking sets of the year, in my opinion. Setting that aside, we have a modern apartment from Lego City, also fitting that modular system. A living space, but very different from the modern house that they did here. So I do like how they have actually two different styles of living spaces in the same wave. This is a set that's gotten a lot of hate, but honestly, I really like it. Captain America's shield, it's actually a really cool build, and maybe I'm a little biased because I recently spent a lot of time trying to build a UFO style shape of thing, and getting this to be a rounded dish this large out of Lego pieces is actually a really hard task. But this is just really impressive to me how all of these different angles fit together. It's a really solid build, and you can pick it up. I wouldn't like swing it, but it's like pretty sturdy. You can like shake it around. I don't know. I feel like this is like holding together really well for pretty violent movement, like you can put it around and whatnot. So again, this is like a really solid set. And I actually really do like the entire concept of having a Captain America shield set. Could it have been done better? Potentially. Oh, well, there goes one of the panels. Probably the biggest flaw is that if you lean it forwards too much, there's nothing actually holding the panels in place. But for what it is, really solid set. I actually really like it. Let me see, is that sturdy there? All right, I feel like that's sturdy. All right, we can set this aside here. Before we get to the big boy that I'm just bumping into here, we can take a look at the large-scale buildable Batman. Initially, I was very, very worried this would not release in the US due to poor sales because it just disappeared from Shop at Home when it was supposed to release in June. But for some reason, they just delayed it until August, and we do have it now, which is fantastic. And the other two ones, the Wolverine and Captain America, LEGO sent to me really early, I believe last May, so we already have those fully built and reviewed. Moving on from this, we have another LEGO Technic motorcycle. This is the Yamaha motorcycle, which is maybe not one of my favorite motorcycles they've done. I definitely feel like some of the other ones are a little bit cooler, but it is still a really solid design. I mean, I love the overall look and feel of this motorbike, and it will look really nice next to the other motorcycles. Actually built this while being on the London Calling LEGO podcast, so do go check that out if you haven't checked them out already. And then finally, I've cleared enough space to get to the two big boys over here. The Disney Castle, I believe, was a July release, but I just now got around to building it, so we can see the new Disney Castle here, which is very similar, but not exactly the same as the original Disney Castle, which is a different color scheme. And this is the biggest set that LEGO has released for this wave, and I probably will do a full review of this because I find the entire concept and execution of the set interesting enough to warrant an entire video. So this set is $700. It is the Liebherr crawler crane, which doesn't really look like the thing it's supposed to look like. Had pieces designed for the set, but in a weird color, like these should be yellow and not gray, but also works really well, can actually lift a ton of weight, has a built-in sensor that allows you to know whether or not you're holding too much weight and it's about to tip. It's actually really, really cool how this has been engineered to work as an actual lifter. So I might do a full video review on it, I might not, depends on what folks want. So do again, let me know in the comments if you do want to see a full video review of this particular build, fully motorized, controlled by your phone. Really interesting build, and it's gonna be an interesting one to talk about value for sure. But with that, we have summed up the entirety of this absolutely gargantuan August LEGO haul. So in the first week and a half of August, this has been what I've built. And now it's time for me to actually put all of these away. It might not look like I have that much space left, but don't worry, there's always more space if you're efficient. So all of these will be going on my shelves. This I will probably integrate into my LEGO city, which is behind me, which I'm very excited to do that. I'm really tempted to completely rearrange my layout of the LEGO city, even though I've never actually shown it off on video before. But overall, everything else is going to go on shelves. I don't know where I'm going to put this. This is going to be a big boy to put away. But everything else, I had a blast building. It has been an absolutely incredible week of putting LEGO sets together because I have a full-time job other than YouTube, so I've been working on that, and I've been doing social stuff in the night. So really, I've been just finding time, like in 30-minute bursts here and there on different days to put these together. But here are the results of my labor, and thankfully, there will not be any major LEGO releases at least from now until September 1st. So I have a bit of a cool down period. I can put this away, I can rearrange my LEGO displays, I can clean up the basement, and then be ready for September when a ton more stuff releases. That's all for this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming away very soon. Thank you so much, and let me know down in the comments below. Do you own any of these sets? Which of these is your favorite? And has this video maybe inspired you to pick up a few of these brand new sets? Thanks all so much for watching, and bye for now.